All right, family, let's hop into one of the most fundamental things that we all can do, one of the most affordable things we all can do to set up instructions for our heirs. So there's two parts to this. There is the will, but let's talk about that versus the living will, right? So I'm gonna start with living will first. Your living will is your instructions while you're alive that mostly have to do with the medical treatment you wish to receive, right? Medical stipulations, right, that you wish to have around what do you do with me if I'm incapacitated and I can't make a decision for myself or I'm not coherent? How do I want the family to treat me while I'm living if something happens to me? That's typically the parameters around the living will, all right? Now, the will, your will, are your instructions after death, right? Now this talks about the things you set up already as instructions for your assets, how you want to be buried, or anything you want anyone to know after your demise. This is the start and fundamental and foundation of your instructions. But if you're a living legacy builder and you want to make sure that you are protected in regards to any medical treatment for yourself and decisions around your life, right, where that's happening, the living will is one place to start to be able to have those instructions already outlined. And we can't wait till we bump our head, get in a car accident or sick to then do it when we're incoherent. These are proactive things you have to do as a visionary and as a leader to be able to set up, right, the playbook for your family and to make all this hard work pay off, to make sure it's protected and to make sure that what you've built is passed on properly, right? So this is your crash course on instructions for a will. We'll have some other documents that we'll be sharing throughout the community on this, and experts who can come in to actually help us execute these wills, living wills and non-living will, all right? So we'll give you all the resources, but these are the fundamentals for all of us to understand for ourselves and our family. Hey, Dad, Mom, what's a will? Son, what's a will? What's a living will? Now we know. Living will is medical treatment based on medical instructions for us as we're living, if we're not coherent, and your will are your instructions after death. Now the will does not have the same protections as a trust does, and we'll get into the trust factor a little bit later on our Pass It On, all right? So here's your crash course on will versus living will and how to begin instructions for our heirs.